Hello, in this video I'm going to guide you through the basics of recording and editing and navigating in Reaper, and also if you're a volunteer reader and would like to use Reaper instead of Audacity for recording your daily articles, I'll show you how to export your files correctly for the Cue and Review Print Speaking to the Blind service. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to open up Reaper here. If you've watched the previous videos, then all the elements you need for editing should all be pre-installed. So, okay, let's get started. If you're a volunteer reader and you would like to use Reaper instead of Audacity for recording your articles, there is a pre-built template available from Cue and Review. If you speak to Cue and Review staff, they will advise you as to where to find it. So I have this already saved on my computer. So I'm going to go to my documents. I'm going to go to, let's see, Cue and Review. And I've got all my templates here. So what I like to do is copy the template into another location on my computer, just to keep things nice and clean and tidy. So I'm going to name this C07. It is the 23rd today, and we'll call this Roddy template. Okay. Now, if we open up this folder and we just double click on here, this is our template here ready to go. Now with Reaper, you have this. Maybe when you open it, it will look like this, which is just a blank space. So if you double click in this empty space here, that will create a track. Now, if you click on this red button here, this is the record arm button here. Now, if you have, if your microphone is connected correctly, then you should have an option to select this microphone or whatever your recording device is in the drop-down box here. So if I click on this drop-down box and I go here, it gives me a drop-down menu with all my options for recording. So if I choose analog 1, which is my microphone, and this red button is engaged, you can see that on the meter here that my voice is appearing. Now if you turn your gain on your microphone up and down so that you're getting a good healthy level, but you're not clipping up here, so you don't get a red light that appears at the top here. So this is a good level. Between -6 and -12 with normal speech is a good place to be to start with. Excuse me. So in your main window, this is your navigation window. You've got your cursor and you've got your left to right markers here. Yeah. So I'm going to record a little bit of test audio so we can use it for for editing and to demonstrate some more of Reaper's features. So let's go back to the home. Okay, and I'm going to press the record button down here. This is a test. This is a test. This is a test recording. Now you'll get a pop-up box with the option to, if you like what you've recorded, you can save it. If you've made a mistake, you can discard it. So for example, if I delete all, then it disappears. So let's record that again. So press the record button. This is a test. This is a test. This is a test recording. Okay, so we're going to save that. And the first thing we're going to do, if you're a volunteer reader, is we need to make sure that this audio is at the correct level for all the processing that's applied subsequently in the template. So if we click on the item to highlight it, and then we need to switch this toolbar here. So if you right click in an empty space here, you're going to switch toolbar and you're going to switch to Reader's Toolbar. And this will give you a handy toolbar with all the functions you might need for editing and adjusting your files. So the first thing we're going to do is click on this file to highlight it, and then we're going to click Normalize. Now this will automatically adjust the file to the correct level for the processing to be applied subsequently. Okay, let's play that back. This is a test, this is a test, this is a test recording. Now, that all sounds good. Now, Reaper has two sections. You've got your main edit window and you've got a mixer section. So if I click Control and M for Michael, then this window pops up with your mixer here. And if I hit it again, it disappears. Now, the size of the track can be adjusted by dragging the bottom here. If you hover over here and move your mouse up and down, there we go. You can add additional tracks by double clicking in the empty space. So I can just click, click, click. I can select the first track, and if I shift click on the end track, I can select them all. And if I hover over this section and control and then mouse wheel in or out, I can zoom all the tracks together in one go, as you can see there. Now, your selection in the edit window is reflected in the mixer window. So if I open up the mixer window, if I select a track here, you see it's reflected here, and so on. Okay, so we don't need these tracks just now, so I'm just going to get rid of them. Okay, now there is some processing applied to the output for readers, which will handle your levels and the sounds. It means that your output file will be to the correct levels for the services that we use. So I'll quickly show you that. So if we go to the mixer and then we click on this effects bar, it will open out another window which shows us all the processing which is on the master output here. So you don't need to worry about these just now. This is all preset and ready to go. So all you need to worry about is just your recording. So I'm going to close that for now, and I'm going to zoom this in and out. To demonstrate some of the buttons that I've built here on the left hand side, let me just zoom this all the way in now. So we've got a zoom track function, which will allow you to zoom your track up and down to make it easier to see and easier to edit. There's a zoom horizontal, which means if you click on this, it will automatically zoom to whatever you have in the window, whatever the length of the file is. If the file is this long, and I click on zoom horizontal, it will zoom to there. And if I zoom vertical, so let's say I have lots of tracks, so I'm going to go click, 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 and we've got them all like this, and they're all spread out. If I click on zoom vertical, it will zoom everything small, so you can see everything that's in the window. Again, if you hover over here and control mouse, it will zoom up and down. If you hover over the edit window and zoom in, wherever your mouse is sitting, it will zoom into that section. So let's get rid of those extra tracks. We're going to highlight that and click zoom track. And if I hover my mouse over here, I can zoom into this part here. So this is a test, this is a test, this is a test recording. Okay, now I'm going to record again. I'm going to make a deliberate mistake. Let's try this again. So if we hit the record button, this is a test, this is a test recording, this is a test recording. So we stop, we're going to save that, save all, and we're going to normalize it. There we go. Now let's have a listen to what we've got. This is a test, this is a test recording, this is a test recording. Okay, now let's say we've made a mistake there and we want to clean this up, we want to edit this out. So as you can see, there are lines on the screen. These are your grid lines. Now at the moment, as I'm clicking this empty space, the mouse cursor is jumping to these lines, and that is because the snap is enabled. Now anything like an item or your mouse cursor, if the snap is enabled, it will snap to these bar lines, as you can see there. See, if I click there and if I click on the end of the item and drag it, you see it will automatically jump to these predefined lines. Now if I turn this snap off, you can move the items and your mouse freely. So it's a handy wee tool to be able to have to move stuff around. But what we'll do is we'll leave it off for now, and we're going to trim the start and the ends of the audio file, and we're going to correct this mistake. So hover over here, and I'm going to mouse in, and if I hit the home button, it will turn back to 0. Or I can hit the button down here, and the cursor will jump back to 0. Now let's press play. This is a test. Okay, so there's a bit of, you can hear there's a breath noise there. This is and there's a little bit of a gap before I start speaking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover my mouse over the end of the file here, and you see how the mouse changes to like a little bracket symbol. Now if I click and I drag that, now that is as trimming the start of the file. Now, in order to stop the nasty pops and clicks, what we're going to do is we're going to add a fade in to this file as well. So if I hover over the top corner and drag there, you'll see that it creates a little fade in. There's a nice smooth fade in so we don't get any nasty pops and clicks. You can make this fade in any length, and you see as I drag it that the audio in the file it reduces in size. If I were to play that back, you can hear it fading in. This is a test. This is a test recording. So it's quite straightforward, and it's really a powerful tool. So let's. I'm going to drag that out a little bit there. Okay, we'll do the same at the other end. So if we hover over the end of the file and we drag it in, and then hover at the top corner, again the icon changes, and we drag that down. So now we've got a nice fade in and a fade out. So we just play that. This is a test. This is a test recording. This is a test recording. Okay, now we're going to take this mistake out. So what we're going to do is, excuse me, this is a test recording. Okay, so let's say we want to take these two additional tests out. And what we need to do, we need to split the track. Now, there's a shortcut here. If we hit split, so that the item is highlighted. We hit split, and then where we want to the other cut that we want to make in order to come back into the file, if we click here, you see the cursor is lined up there, and we hit split again. Now, we've highlighted a section there that we're going to chop out. Now, we want these two sections to join up. So a handy tool that we use is what's called ripple. So if you click ripple on, now if I select this and then press the delete button, you can see that this file, the end of the file, has jumped forward. So let's just show that again. So select that, delete, and it jumps forward. Now if I turn ripple off and do the same thing, you can see that the files stay in the same place. So it's handy if you've got lots of edits all the way up here and you want everything to stay in the same place, subsequently, but you want to do a little edit down here somewhere. So if you click this and edit, and if you split this and then ripple is on, then everything that follows the edit will automatically jump forward. Otherwise, if we were to click this and move it, the lock is on. Okay, if you were to click this and move it, then the things that were behind it would stay in the same place. So let's undo that. Okay, so we'll just go through that again. Okay, so here we go. This is a test recording. Okay, so we're going to click in that space there. We're going to hit split, and then we're going to hit click there, and we're going to hit split. I'm going to select that, make sure the ripple is on, and then press delete. Now if we play that little bit there, this is a test recording. Okay, now in order to make this transition between these two files, you see I can highlight them by clicking on either side. To make this transition smooth, we're going to create a crossfade. So what we do is the same thing as creating a fade in and a fade out. If we hover over here and then just drag the end of that file in, now you'll see that what happens is effectively you're dragging the front of this file over this one. And if I were to go the other way, the same thing applies. Now, you can also change the position of the fade. Excuse me, let's just drag that back out again. Let's go back out. I'm just going to undo all this. So there's an undo button down here. So any mistakes that you make, if you want to undo stuff, just hit the undo button. Undo, undo, undo all the time. So, okay, let's split that. We're going to split that. We're going to ripple is on. We're going to delete. Now, if we zoom in on the join, if I hover my mouse over the join between the two sections, you can see it turns into a double brackets icon. And now this enables me to drag the point at where I put my edit, so I can drag it back and forth. So if I drag this section forward, you can see this is the previous mistake being revealed. And if I drag it this way, this is the previous mistake being revealed. So everything is in the background. It's still there, but we're just, whatever is displayed on the screen is what you hear, but you don't lose anything. So everything is still available should you require to go back and find it. So let's say we've got right. So that's going to be our edit point there. Now, in order to avoid pops and clicks, we're going to create a crossfade. So same as before, hover over the end of the file and just drag it out, and you get a nice crossfade there. So we play that now. This is a test recording. Okay, so this is a test. This is a test recording. This is a test recording. Okay, now that we've done our edits and we've got our fade-ins sorted, we're going to, our file is ready to go. So we're going to export it out of Reaper. So what we need to do is we need to take your mouse, and if you right click and drag around the files, make sure they're all highlighted. So you don't want this and you don't want to be doing that. So if we right click and we drag around all the files that we want to export, now what we're going to do is we're going to set our left and right markers, because everything within the left and right markers will be exported. So if I hit on, where are we, time select, this button here, now you can see it's set the left and right markers. Now if I were to export like this, and if I were to do this and hit time select, now this would only export this section. So we'd be missing an end of an article here. So you need to make sure that we're right click and we drag around everything we've got on the screen that we want to export and hit time select. Now, once that's ready to go, we hit render. Now, we have some presets pre-built, but I'll go through the settings in order so you can show them, and I'll show you how to save it as a preset. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this to master mix and time selection. We're going to give it a name, so let's call this article 1, and we're going to find a directory for it. So the directory, I like to keep everything together in the same project. So if I go back to my original template, and I'll just drop it into that folder. I'll create another folder in there. Let's say we'll call it articles. Okay, now our next setting will be 44.1, and it will be mono. Make sure this says full speed offline. Resample mode should be extreme, HQ. It should be an MP3 at constant bitrate, 320 kps, and this should be set to maximum as well. Now, once we've got all these settings that we want to use, you can save it as a preset. So if we go to preset and we go to all settings and we hit save preset, and we can call it anything we want. So let's call it a 001 Q and review articles. Okay, so I'm just going to go through that again. If we highlight everything we want to export, right click and drag, time select, and then we hit render, and then if you go to presets, all settings 001 Q and review articles, everything should be reset to the way we want it, and we just choose where we want to put the file. So I'm going to put it in my folder again, articles. Okay, and we hit render file. Okay, now that is our file exported. Now if we want to save that, we can just hit save, and we can give this project a name so that if we want, we can open it back up later on. So I'm going to call this 03. I'm going to save that. If I go to my folder on my hard drive that I'm recording into, so this is in this drive, go to articles, there's our article MP3. So let's have a quick listen to that, check it's okay. This is a test, this is a test recording, this is a test recording. That all sounds good. So that covers pretty much everything you need to know to be able to record, edit, and export all of your daily articles for the Q and Review print speaking to the blind service using Reaper.